Hi, Thomas. Nice to meet you again.
Hi, Fabian.
Thank you so much for taking a few minutes for this. Before we dive into all of our questions, let's learn a little bit more about yourself, if that's okay. Would you mind just giving us a little bit of context to your professional journey?
Sure, I'm Thomas. I studied film producer many years back. I was working for a startup called RTT. In the meantime, the monopoly for visualizing 3D products. Then I was 11 years inside the Volkswagen Group, responsible for digital retail, digital business applications at Audi AG, and later Audi Business Innovations. In the moment, I'm acting in the role of head of mobility at Journee, and we are building amazing virtual immersive product experiences.
Thank you so much for the context. Let's maybe start there with the topic of VR, virtual reality, and AR, augmented reality. What role do these topics play in automotive today?
The role and the importance of AR, VR, or mixed reality in total is increasing. So more and more departments and use cases find applications starting from design, engineering up to marketing and sales. But I would still say it's still early stage.
What are some of the sort of use cases that you see today, and how do you believe this to evolve over the next coming years, especially sort of in, I guess, synergy with some of the other related technologies that might unlock sort of further use cases?
Yeah, many use cases in VR and AR at the moment in the design and engineering cases to simulate uh, potential scenarios and use cases on the marketing and sales due to the lack of missing devices in the end consumer. There are not that many B2C cases, but many brands, like for example Cupra, they adopt new devices like the Apple Vision Pro to have a bespoke showroom experience to show all cars and all options, even if they're not really there in the showroom. And coming with the adoption across the or along the upcoming years, I'm pretty sure that more and more use cases, especially in this size, on a personalized product experience, will take place and will become a new standard.
Mm. Especially in the context of, I guess, product experience and in sort of the initial, I guess, phases of the purchase consideration cycle. Do you think sort of a virtual experience could actually replace for some consumers the, I guess, in person, especially in sort of the premium segment, the in person, physical, also interpersonal in lots of respects experience?
I think that the change is already happening. Even 10 years back, there was I think before the average person went 7 times to the dealer to purchase a car. Then it was in decline towards two. Now it's below two. And with the rise of emerging technologies like Gen like spatial technologies, including mixed reality, it will become the new normal. But many companies still don't leverage the possibilities what these new technologies provide. So everybody has a website. You can go to it. You can visualize a car. You can configure it. But many OEMs, even if they want to approach a direct-to-consumer approach or change the traditional retail model where they sold the cars to the national sales company who sold it to the dealer and the dealer markets it again or sells it again to the unique customer. It's not yet there, and I wonder why. But there are new players coming to the market, especially from China, and they are very aggressive. They have a simplified customer journey. They have a reduced product offering, and they need to raise awareness for the brand, for their products, and with the use of these new technologies, they can stand out in comparison to the traditional OEMs. On the other hand, if you are a premium or a luxury car manufacturer and the purchasing experience is something unique. You want to know your dealer, you want to tailor the car exactly to the needs of the user. And if it's really luxurious, then the digital tools and the digital experience, they can enhance the buying experience and the customer journey. But in this area, they won't replace it.
Mm. You already alluded to that the adoption of some of these technologies is comparatively sort of low. And you also mentioned that there is a hardware and a software component. Why, I guess, is the adoption fairly low still at the minute? Is it mostly due to hardware or software constraints?
It's on the hardware side, it's a chicken and egg problem. So when you talk to consumers, I don't know whether you have a Quest or a Vision Pro or a similar device at home. I know some who have one, but most of my friends, even if they use it at work in a professional manner, they don't have one at home. And that's the best case because many don't know what to do with it beyond gaming. And if you are not an avid gamer who plays a game specifically in VR, there's no need to purchase a device like this. And the rapid development cycles every year, a new device, and it's better regarding the resolution, it's better regarding the field of view, the tracking is better, and also the form factor. So the ease of use, they become lighter, they become less a problem to carry all day long. Uh, they always wait until the next year for the investment, and that's a problem. On the other hand, if there's not enough content, why should you purchase something like this? There's no need. As of today, there's still a workaround. And if you go to the OEMs, the new ones, they just have a website and a very simplified car buying experience for the, let's call it visualizer. I can just select a couple of colors and a couple of wheels and maybe one or two interior options, and that's it. On the other hand, we have the traditional car manufacturers. They have car configurators. They are out there for many, many years. And of course, they improve the render quality and they have micro front ends and micro back ends from a technical solution. But from a user perspective, it's very fragmented. It's very detailed. You have all the buildability requests, and it's not a very nice user experience. But they use these tools to market the cars, to sell the cars, and they all fear that if the car configurator doesn't work, I sell one car less. This means I lose money, and therefore they are very hesitant and don't like to go the innovative way to select a different and a new approach, which is actually necessary to convince the customer and to shortcut the sales cycle.
The metaverse has received lots of attention. Feels like it's sort of going through sort of hype phases. And I guess one company where we've got this in the name is betting um quite big on the metaverse as a, I guess, technological development that has lots of potential, possibly. What role does the metaverse potentially play in an automotive context?
A huge role. The metaverse is bridging the gap from the traditional one to the futuristic model on all areas, from content perception, what you need, what you expect from a user experience. At the moment, you need to look for the content. In the past, it was all text-based. Now it became more to images. More and more videos become adoption with apps like TikTok or other social media apps. The video is the new norm, but in the future, videos are going to be perceived as too static. It all has to be interactive, it has to be personalized, and it has to be persistent and act in real time. And for this, you need metaverse technologies in order to tailor the user experience exactly to the current need. You need to provide relevant content the moment the user needs it, and you need to turn it around at the moment I need to look for something. In the future, the content will know what the user needs, either with an AI agent or similar technologies. And therefore, the term metaverse is it's pretty broad, and everybody has a different understanding. Is it a meta horizon? Is it a 3D characters in a Teams chat or whatever? Or is it interoperability from the car to the city to the user on a smartphone to a spatial device, whatever? I think there are different layers of the metaverse, and some are already established and some are further down the road.
You sort of indirectly alluded to some of the value propositions around personalization, providing relevant content at the right time. All of this seems to be heavily relying on data. what are some of the, I guess, data-related challenges that you currently see as relates to sort of the metaverse and associated technology?
One is you need to get the data right. So coming from an OEM perspective, you want the product is the hero. Yeah, you want to show the product, market specific, left-hand drive, right-hand drive, long version, standard version, sporty version, different colors, different wheels, different body types, and this all along the product and the content lifecycle. And the biggest challenge is that many are still lagging behind the technology, which should be state of the art. So they don't have automated pipelines that they can support all channels, from design to engineering, up until all marketing and sales channels. And the software landscape is evolving so fast, so it's really hard to follow and to stay up to speed. And if the OEMs don't understand that they need to get their data right, they don't have content in the channels. And that's the first problem. The second is the demand for new content, for something exciting and for something which does something with me. It has to be relevant. It has to fit into my living landscape. And it has to provide valuable information regarding the USPs, what I require or look for. And this costs a lot of money. First to create the content, first to define it, and second to create it, and in the end to play it out exactly on the channels I need it in different formats and different media types for different devices. And this can't be done in a pre-configured and manual way. This has to be automated. And this is where Gen AI comes in place, and data standards and new paradigms, how to handle it.
The, I guess, entire topic of VR and AR is quite intimate, isn't it? So it's very sort of personalized. It's very unique to you. You're sort of either sort of perceiving something that is very specific to where you are and what you would like to see, or you're even embedded in it, in sort of a virtual environment, which requires loads of personal data and organizations to treat your data the right way. Which leads me sort of to the next question around regulation. What role does regulation play for these types of solution, and how do you see this change sort of over the next couple of years potentially?
Yeah, regulation is a very important topic because AI can only help if data is there. If nobody provides or shares data, then you can't leverage the magic of AI, and therefore we need a regulatory framework to support all of these activities. But at the same side, to prevent and save the personality and the privacy side, which is a huge part, and also all OEMs, they want to have access to the latest data models, and to provide a unique customer experience. But all of these, or maybe most of them, don't have the money to train their own models. Therefore, they need to leverage existing models. But how do I train an existing model without sharing my customer data, without my company insights? And that's a tricky point. And for this, exactly, we need specific APIs to not share my data with my competitor, and to have a regulation where we can ensure that this is not happening. And on the other hand, we need to do it in order to provide the unique customer experience to my user, or to use these tools to speed up the process and to save money.
Mhm. Where do you think this technology will come from? I mean, it's probably fair to say that automotive OEMs won't become hardware manufacturers of VR goggles, but the software component is something that I might be quite interested in. And from what I've seen in sort of the automotive infotainment space, there are lots of companies at the minute that are quite specialized and look into, with the sort of status quo of technology, how to provide the right user experience that, as you sort of alluded to, is simplistic in a way, but also highly personalized. And then I guess this leads me to a question for this sort of virtual and augmented reality space. Where do you believe the, I guess, software solutions come from? Are these the big sort of technology companies, smaller specialized firms, maybe the OEMs themselves?
It's a good question. I don't know. It could be anybody. Many OEMs, they have bespoke software teams in-house. They found or purchase entire entities to build up competence and skill set to yeah, reduce the time to market and to build up their own capabilities. Everybody wants to provide and own the ecosystem around the car to leverage and generate new business models to make money in the future and not just to be a provision-based mobility provider or a supplier in the end. But on the other hand, it's hard, because sometimes you don't get the experts. Sometimes the market is evolving so fast. So with the traditional decision-making processes, you may lag behind. On the other hand, that if you don't understand the car industry and you're coming from so thinking about the big 5, 6, 7 US tech companies, they are all suppliers of the automotive industry, but they are suppliers for specific building blocks and components. They don't own the entire value chain. And so far, if they would do it, they would build an entire car. And Tesla has proven that it's possible. They are not a supplier, but all the others, they don't do it for a good reason. And there are startups in between who have the insight and often also ex-automotive experts. And on the other hand, they have the access and the speed what you need to evolve fast and to further develop. And I think in this sweet spot, you need to do it together. The OEM can't do it alone. The big tech provider can't do it. Hyperscaler, for example, can't do it by itself. And the startup alone is also dependent on the openness of the OEM. And therefore, if it would be easy, then we would all buy a share of the startup. But at the moment, the race is totally open.
You already alluded to developments of AI in this context, drilling a little bit deeper into that, maybe specifically recent developments in Journee, which is, of course, so rapidly evolving. What role does Journee play in this context, and what are some of the use cases that Journee could unlock?
Yeah, let's pick exactly the car buying journey in the end for Journee. So you go to the website, you get pre-rendered content. It's a predefined path you have to click through. You have to resolve buildability requests by yourself. It's an annoying process. OEMs spend so much money to bring you to the website, and they lose you along the way before you do the checkout. What they all look for, so the purchase of the car. And Journee could exactly enhance this process with personalized, relevant content exactly at that point of the journey where you need it, tailored to your needs, tailored to your device, tailored to the situation in which you are at the moment, and not to over-inform you with unnecessary information, but exactly to compress and condense what's relevant and needed for you. And I think only Journee can solve this. And if we are talking about spatial experiences, you would need to pre-produce so much content and in a highly optimized way to have it in a visual high quality, in a very performant and stable way, and scalable to all the users all around the world. And nobody can afford this as of today. And the expectation for the experience level is always getting higher. And therefore, we need Journee to support and empower this.
As a final question from my side, as I understand, there are use cases, especially sort of in the, I guess, first stages, sort of in the design and engineering space, and then sort of downstream in the customer space, sort of more widely, which is sort of reflected in lots of technological development at the moment, which doesn't make it easier for organizations to manage these programs and technological choices, which sort of leads me to the final question. What would be your top 3 recommendation for executives, especially given that you've worked sort of on both sides of the fence, on the OEM side and on the external partner side, to unlock the most value from AR, VR, the metaverse, especially in context of some of these recent AI developments?
Yeah, I think the top 3 is have a strategy, and the strategy includes find the right partners. Second, build up skills in-house, get the knowledge, get the experience, especially for the collaboration with the partners. And third, start becoming active. Just the theory doesn't create any impact. Yeah, you need to learn, you need to adapt, you need to evolve. That the space is evolving so rapidly, so quickly. If you just do the PowerPoint magic, which is very common in many enterprises, and go the traditional decision-making cycles, you will lag behind.
Just on that last one, I know I said before that was the last question, wasn't entirely true. So just to follow up there, where do you start if you currently are sort of in the initial conceptual stage and you aren't quite sure if you're particularly passionate about how to sell this to sort of the senior directors in or board members in your organization? What would be your pitch to demonstrate that there is long-term value associated with this topic?
Yeah, it's hard to say, and whether, or in the end, it's pretty simple. Yeah, either you solve a problem, this means you save time, you save money, yeah, or you create a new chance. This means you create new revenue, you address a new market which hasn't been accessible before, and therefore you just compare, yeah, how is the landscape today, and then you run a quick demo, for example, for one car, for one market, for 3 months, so a very defined period of time. It doesn't require a lot of budget. You set up a small project, ideally with one of the partners, to just to save time again, and then you define KPIs upfront. What do you want to increase? What do you want to improve? And how do you measure that you are successful? And in the end, you can see in an A/B test how do we or how does the OEM proceed and behave without AI, and how does Gen AI enable new things or resolve problems. And in the end, the outcome of the 3 month could be a black and white decision that it's obvious. Yeah, often it's not. It's a gray topic, and therefore it's very important to learn. What did we do? How would we do it different? And then applying an agile methodology and to further develop and to iterate starting from this point. And then if you do this 2 or 3 times with the same team, adding more experience to it, then I'm 100% sure in 12 months you are at a different state and level as you are today.
No, fascinating topic and great conversation. Thank you so much for your time and insights today, Thomas.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.